Straight ahead on NewsWatch, Donald Trump launches his thank you tour, announces his pick for Secretary of Defense, and lays out a broad agenda for his presidency. We've got all the details. Plus, the smoke is lifting in Gatlinburg, revealing a town decimated by wildfire. Now residents and business owners are facing the heartbreak of it all. And it is the end of a dynasty. Find out what is next for the Robertson family as Duck Dynasty comes to a conclusion. And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. President-elect Donald Trump spoke to the nation in his first post-election rally Thursday, kicking off his nationwide thank you tour. In addition to thanking the crowd, he made a big announcement and laid out what he wants to do when he takes office. Charlene Aaron is on the story.
The president-elect returned to his campaign roots Thursday in his first major public appearance since Election Day. First in Indiana at the Carrier plant, where he helped save 1,100 jobs, then in the Buckeye State.
I love you, Ohio. This is a great place.
Donald Trump spoke to thousands of his adoring fans in the key swing state of Ohio, where he made the surprise announcement about a new choice for his cabinet.
We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. They say he's the closest thing to General George Patton that we have, and it's about time. It's about time.
Mr. Trump also mapped out a broad agenda on the economy, repealing Obamacare, and national unity.
We denounce all of the hatred. We're going to come together. We have no choice. I'm working to assemble a detailed action plan for America. My plan begins with a bold structural reform to create millions of new jobs and rapidly expand our economic growth.
He also laid out his plans on immigration and changing American policies about who comes into the U.S.
We will construct a great wall at the border. People are pouring in from regions of the Middle East. We have no idea who they are, where they come from.
Meanwhile, Trump's transition team is considering including a few Democrats for his cabinet. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia could be tapped for the job of Energy Secretary. Political reports the conservative Democrat is being considered to show the coal people how serious Trump is about the coal industry. And another Democratic Senator, Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, is set to make a trip to Trump Tower today. She could also be considered for Secretary of Energy or Interior. The president-elect ended his speech in Cincinnati by appealing to everyone in the country to take part in helping to make America great again.
We have many challenges, but this is truly an exciting time to be alive. There's been no time like it. The script is not yet written. We do not know what the next page will read. But I'll tell you, it's going to be a great page. But for the first time in a long time, what we do know is that the pages will be authored by each one of you. Each one of you. Americans will be the captains of their own destiny once again.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
The Obama administration is supporting the idea of including women in the military draft. USA Today reports President Obama believes adding women to the draft will show a commitment to gender equality. Under current law, women can volunteer, but they are not required to enter the draft. It would take an act from Congress to add women to selective service. The report says the Obama administration remains committed to an all-volunteer military, and there are no plans to reinstitute the draft. The U.S. Senate has unanimously approved legislation that will extend the Iran Sanctions Act for 10 more years. The decades-old law will allow the U.S. to impose sanctions on companies for doing business with Iran. Senators voted 99-0 on the measure, which the House has already passed. Trump already threatened to scrap President Obama's Iran nuclear deal throughout his campaign. President Obama is also expected to sign that sanctions bill. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims protested in Jakarta, Indonesia, accusing their Christian governor of blaspheming against Islam. The protesters were calling to jail Governor Basuki Purnama over comments he made about the Quran during his campaign. President Joko Widodo arrived at the rally to pay tribute to those who attended while chanting Allahu Akbar along with the people in the crowd. The Associated Press reports 200,000 people attended the rally. The governor will soon face trial for blasphemy. A court in Germany has authorized a group of self-appointed Sharia police to continue enforcing Islamic law in the city of Wuppertal. According to the Gatestone Institute, the 7 Islamists who formed the vigilante force have established a Sharia-controlled zone and urge Muslims and non-Muslims to attend mosques. The court ruled the group is not breaking German law, but is exercising its right to free speech. Critics say the ruling effectively legitimizes Sharia law in Germany. Back here in the U.S., the cities of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee are still days away from reopening after devastating wildfires ripped through the area, leaving 11 people dead. Today, residents and business owners get their first chance to check and see if they have anything left. Caitlin Burke is in Gatlinburg and brings us more on the story.
The waiting game continues here in Sevier County as fire and rescue crews search through the ashes left behind by this week's fires. Displaced residents waiting for word on their homes, business owners waiting for access to their shops. For the Sims family, the wait ended Thursday.
But went back to the house yesterday and was no evidence of fire in and around our section of Cobley Knob.
They evacuated Monday night as flames from distant mountains moved closer.
I thought we weren't going to make it. I literally thought that was it. My son in the back seat told me when he got off the mountain, he said, I totally thought we weren't going to make it tonight. And I was with him.
Their home was spared, but their hearts are heavy.
When I walked in, I felt heat because of the electricity that came on overnight. And I've never been so grateful for my home in my life as it was today. And I thought about all the ones that had lost their homes and thinking, oh gosh, they don't get to walk back into their homes.
Noah Sims goes to Gatlinburg High School, where many of his classmates lost everything.
Well, I've been talking to a lot of my friends and asking them what they need, what size clothes they wear so I can go shopping for them. And a lot of those guys I've been going to school with my entire life since first grade when we moved up here.
This blockade you see behind me is as close as many can get to downtown Gatlinburg. That's where many of the restaurants and banks and churches are, and dozens of them were destroyed or severely damaged by fire. Starting Thursday, business owners were allowed back in with an escort to gather some of their most important documents and to take care of payroll. Harold and Nancy Thompson own 2 downtown businesses. Nancy was in her shop Monday when smoke moved down from the mountain.
Most of the shops started closing down about mid-afternoon. We did stay till about 5 o'clock. And the smoke at that time was really, really bad.
The Thompsons heard from their landlord that the buildings are intact. Today, they have only 1 hour to go with an escort to get anything they may need and assess the damage.
It did burn all the way around us. Fortunately, it didn't get into our square, but it burned all the way around us, and it's just a miracle that they didn't burn.
We've heard over and over again from the people of this community that they are strong and they will pull together to take care of their own. What they need from you are your prayers and your business.
If you really, really want to do something for Gatlinburg, we're going to be back on our feet in just a real short time. Come and visit us. Come back and vacation here.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
The federal death penalty trial for a South Carolina man charged in the shooting death of 9 church members is scheduled to begin next week. A U.S. district judge has ruled that the 12-member jury will be selected next Wednesday for the case against Dylann Roof. Roof faces federal charges, including hate crimes for the June 2015 shooting rampage at Emmanuel AME Church. Roof is representing himself in the federal trial. His former defense team is staying on as legal advisors. France is refusing to lift a ban on a viral pro-life video because it might upset women who previously aborted a Down syndrome baby. Controversy erupted 2 years ago when a Down syndrome advocacy group produced the video called Dear Future Mom. It shows smiling children with Down syndrome sending a powerful message to anxious mothers whose unborn babies were diagnosed with the disorder. Take a look.
Cara futura mamma.
Don't be afraid.
Tu niño podrá hacer muchas cosas.
Podrá abbracciarti. Podrá correr hacia ti.
Il pourra parler et te dire qu'il t'aime.
French officials called the video inappropriate and banned it from ever being on television. But pro-life advocates believe this is just the message France needs. Almost 90% of babies prenatally diagnosed with Down syndrome in France are aborted. The video is still banned despite numerous petitions. Next year marks a milestone for Johnny Erickson Tata. It is the 50th anniversary of her diving accident as a teenager that left her as a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. Since then, she's gone on to become an international disabilities advocate and to write more than 50 Christian books. Her newest devotional book, A Spectacle of Glory, talks about bringing glory to God in suffering. Johnny spoke with CBN News this week about almost 5 decades of suffering. She said as she gets older, she still finds herself waking up in the morning, unable to face the day and desperately needing Jesus.
Every single morning when I wake up, I need Jesus so badly. I just can't tolerate the thought of another day as a quadriplegic with somebody else giving me a bed bath and exercising my legs and toileting routines, and it just all seems so overwhelming. And so fresh in the morning, I'm saying, Jesus, I need you. I can't do this. I cannot do quadriplegia, but I can do all things through you as you strengthen me.
Johnny also recently published a new study Bible called the Beyond Suffering Bible for those with chronic health conditions or illnesses. Coming up, they may be America's favorite duck hunters, but they say our country was shaped by a different sport. White Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson says he feels close to God when he's fishing. Fans of Duck Dynasty are enjoying the final season of the hit reality series featuring the colorful Robertson clan. But the end of the A&E show doesn't mean the end of the spotlight. I recently sat down with Duck Commander CEO Willie Robertson to talk about his new book and what's ahead for the family.
Meet the Robertson clan. They turned duck calls into a multi-million-dollar empire. But running a family business is tough when the family just wants to run wild.
Millions fell in love with the Robertsons when they began sharing the family business and their daily life on television.
Willie, are you as excited as I am about your reunion this weekend?
Reunion? Willie, do I have to remind you how much you've changed since high school?
He still looks the same.
Now, after breaking cable ratings records, sometimes averaging more than 11 million viewers, Duck Dynasty is coming to an end.
It's been over 5 years we've been filming the show, which is on television, it's a lifetime. There's always something going on, and so we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm not a big goal guy. I don't try to set my 5-year plan, and no, not at all. Well, you think about it like this. 5 years ago, if someone would ask me what my goal was, I probably would have been way short of what was going to happen. And so I don't want to limit myself or limit God or anything. It'll be nice at some point to slow down a little bit and kind of enjoy some of the things that we've done.
That Willie Robertson slowdown will have to wait. The husband, father, and CEO has a new show with the family's famous uncle, Cy.
I got myself a show about the internet. I'm not even sure what that is yet.
It's called Going Viral, and Willie's the show's sidekick. Plus, he's written a new book, The American Fisherman, How Our Nation's Anglers Founded, Fed, Financed, and Forever Shaped the USA.
I mean, to be honest, growing up, we were way more about fishing even than hunting, because we fished for fun, just like we hunted for fun, but we also, Dad had kind of had this duck call that he was trying to sell. And so we were trying to get it off the ground, but to pay the bills, my dad fished. He was a commercial fisherman.
In reading, you said that fishing is how parents and children discover what they're made of together.
Right.
How so?
Well, I think with fishing, you can learn a lot about yourself and about others. You learn patience and you learn how to, stick with it. You can't see what exactly you're going after. And so I think we learn a lot about ourselves, especially nowadays, the world kind of really slows down.
Is Dad still the best fisherman you know?
Probably so, probably so. I mean, he knows, he's probably forgotten more about fishing than the rest of us have even learned. But yeah, he could fish for really anything.
And your dad took your son and the girl he was dating.
Actually, one of my favorite episodes of Duck Dynasty.
You got old Papaw here being your chaperone. What's your opinion on that?
Well,
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Now, Jean-Luc, never touch her below the neck until you sign the dotted line. That's being a gentleman about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. That helps.
So he starts talking about all these sexually transmitted diseases, and so that's his dating advice. Now, what's funny was I heard the same speech when I was 15.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, and I got so tickled, and so I went to my father, and I said, Dad, I saw the episode where you were giving the advice, and I'm laughing, and Dad said, I wasn't being funny. I said, I know, that's what's so funny about it, because you didn't know. But, yeah, he kind of had the shock therapy with all of us, and it's still going.
When you're young, you know, all you hear everybody, you know, on television and the internet, you know, sex, oh, you know, what are we going to do with ourselves? Don't even entertain that thought.
Fishing anchors the Robertson family. And in writing his book, Willie learned how it also anchors American history. George Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, George H.W. Bush, and even George W. Bush were all avid fishermen.
We talk about the relationship of presidents and fishing. We now have a new president who you were a big supporter of. You're going to take Donald Trump fishing?
I need to get him out fishing. You know, he's in a good spot. I'm already eyeballing Camp David. Because that'd be a cool deal.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe, you know, I haven't asked for many favors yet. So maybe my favor will be to take him out at Camp David, and it would be neat, right? Where all these presidents have been, and just to be there. And his son, Donald Trump Jr., he and I have hunted together. In fact, he was at the house last year. We hunted together, and so he's a big outdoorsman and likes to fish. And so I don't know that Mr. Trump is a big fisherman, but I'm sure he probably has some. But I'd love to be able to take him out and do some sort of fishing.
And you feel closer to God when you fish?
I do.
After all, God has called all believers to be fishers of men.
Production has wrapped on Duck Dynasty, but you can catch new episodes from now through April. That is when the show is scheduled to end. Up next, movies that are worth your while. Get your family-friendly movie reviews before you head to the theater this weekend. We've got the story coming up after this. Are you looking for something worth catching at the movie theater this weekend? Our Mark Martin spoke with Plugged In Online's Bubblicious to help you find the right picks for you and your family. Take a look.
Bob, let's start with the Warren Beatty film Rules Don't Apply, a romantic comedy about Howard Hughes. What did you think?
Well, Warren Beatty highlights Howard Hughes, but he mainly highlights two fictional characters in the movie who he forbids to fraternize. Of course, they fall in love with each other. One's a driver, one's a budding starlet who Hughes keeps around. In fact, he keeps 25 other women around just in case he wants them to star in one of his movies. So it's a bit of a love story. Unfortunately, some sleazy scenes, some dialogue that's inappropriate, and two characters that start out as Christians who quickly abandon their faith for Hollywood values or lack thereof. Martha's film only gave this one a 2. Not a big fan of Rules Don't Apply.
There's a new drama based on an historical case of interracial marriage that changed the laws in America. It's called Loving. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, it's a play on word. It actually it's based on a true story of Richard Loving, who was a loving person as well, who in, I believe it was 1958, as a white man, married a black woman. And as you've already alluded to, got married and got arrested for just getting married. And then their case went all the way to the Supreme Court and ended up changing the laws of the land. We gave this one a 3.5 out of 5, which is a pretty good score. Knocked it down 1.5 points for a little bit of language. And the fact that there's a pregnancy outside of marriage, but not in a sleazy way, just a little caution there. But I like Richard Loving's love for his wife. I like the strong wife that she is and how she takes care of her kids, how she loves her husband. I like the fact that it's a true story. So there's a lot here for, say, mature teens on up.
Bob, there's a Christmas movie out called Believe. Is that one worth seeing?
You know, this is a faith-based movie, and I would say faith light. The Christian message comes through a Christmas pageant, so it's not like an altar call type thing, but it deals with a man who inherited a auto parts manufacturing business from his grandfather, but he's fallen on hard times. The economy's not good. The books aren't looking good. It looks like he's going to have to lay off people. They start protesting, even with signs. He also helps finance an annual Christmas pageant, personally and partly from the business, but because everything's suffering financially, he can't do that. Well, the community's up in arms about that as well, because it's a financial boost to the whole community. And things aren't going right until he encounters a group of homeless people. And homeless is not quite technically right either. They actually have a roof over their head. They just don't have any heat. So as he tries to help them, things begin to click. It's a Hallmarkish type film. It's not a Hallmark film, but you know what I mean. It's that type of feel-good, family-friendly, Christmas-oriented film that folks are looking for something to take the whole family to this weekend, have an option.
Okay. Bob Waliszewski of PluggedIn.com. Thanks so much for being with us, Bob.
Thanks, Mark.
It's time now for your Friday Faithful, and here's a word to consider as you move into the weekend and make plans to rest and hopefully make plans to attend worship services as well. Remember this, church is not a thing to do or even a place to go. The church is what believers are called to be. With that word, remember, it is important to be church 7 days a week. Embrace that principle and make this a fabulous Friday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about always at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. See you Monday.